Here I come, this is my final time. You wasn't expecting this, boy! I don't want to sound like I'm a future serial killer, but
it's fun.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. Today we're gonna be showcasing this kid that, honestly, he just personifies perfectly what every little annoying kid that you run into in online games sounds like. You know, the ones that are usually pretty trash because their cognitive skills aren't all there yet, and they just yell curse words at you in rage. You know the exact type. Anyways, I'm sure a lot of you actually have little siblings that act this way probably. Well, hopefully not nearly as bad as this kid, as he might be one of the bigger brats to ever appear on the Dr. Phil show. But seriously, like, this kid has some actual anger problems, and it doesn't help that his parents kind of have a super loose rein on him. Let's jump into it and see actually how bad his condition really is.
this is my baby, my prized possession. I love video gaming. Every day I get home, I just want to play.
Alright, yo, let's run that back real quick. Obviously, the Dr. Phil show has to avoid copyrights, and they can't really be showcasing the game that he's actually playing, which is most likely like Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty or something. But this has to seriously be one of the worst attempts at creating a realistic game in terms of HUD and graphics that I've ever seen. Seriously, that is terrible.
I don't want to sound like I'm a future serial killer, but it's fun. Like when you drive a minivan through a crowd of people.
Well, kid, if you didn't want to sound like a serial killer there, you did not do a very good job. I mean, that sounds like something that exactly a serial killer would say. Plus, his delivery on that was really creepy.
In the gaming world, like, you can get away with stuff. And so cars, you can kill people. You're going at each other full force with guns blazing. Nobody will arrest you for public indecency. And that's the good thing about online.
Alright, so after more terrible fake gameplay and creepy rambling from this kid, what does he end up on? Nobody can arrest you for public indecency. Like, what the heck is he talking about? It's so weird to me that that is like the one law that he chose to set aside and showcase, and he's super hype about being able to break that when it comes to video games. I mean, I'm not here to judge. Well, actually, I am. That's like the exact point of this video. But still, kids will be kids, I guess, you know?
Sometimes they say some stuff that has gotten me banned multiple times, but I just don't care. Let's empty out this.
Ugh, the tone of that voice. Guys, just soak this in. You are getting, if you think about it, you are truly getting an actual peek into the life behind those annoying squeakers that are yelling at you and raging at you in video games. If you've ever truly wondered what they look like or how they act or what their home life is like, well, here's a perfect representation of that. So basically, as you can see, this kid has some major anger problems. In his world, it's me, which is fine. I mean, most young kids have a sense of self-importance, and they aren't quite at a mature enough age to realize how faulty that logic can be at times. But the fact that he results to severe violence when he gets mad or annoyed is a really bad sign. And I mean, you'll see Dr. Phil actually goes into that later on and why it's so bad, obviously. But what doesn't help is that his mom doesn't intervene or put her foot down when it comes to him freaking out. I mean, I'm not a parent, but it should be pretty easy to discipline your kid if they are hurting you. You're the adult and you're much bigger than them. Tell them that is not okay to do. Obviously, don't hit them back because this isn't the 1900s, but don't you have a responsibility as a parent to be stern with your kid, especially when they're acting like roid-raging idiots?
Sometimes, to release my anger, I grab a golf club and I go crazy on my door. These are the holes from where I did it. It was an argument and I just had to come in here, release my anger.
Alright, I mean, just judging by the state of this kid's door, you can see what kind of life this kid is living. I'm sorry, but parents of America, if you let your kids plaster bumper stickers on their door like this and whack at it with a 9-iron, you're doing parenting wrong. I don't even have to be a parent to know that much. This kid is giving me major Sid from Toy Story vibes.
He has stayed on for up to 20 hours. He never comes out of his room to eat with us, but he will yell out from his room, "Peasant, bring me a plate."
Come to me immediately! I request backup immediately!
Wait, this kid calls his mom a peasant? Seriously, how are you gonna be the parent of a kid and allow them to call you a peasant? This is not Skyrim. You are the parent and need to be telling your kid to be respectful and clean up his act. He's old enough to know better. If my kid calls me peasant, I'd first off laugh in their face, because that's kind of funny for them to even think of that, and then instantly ground them or something to show them who is in fact the peasant in this situation. Okay, I admit, actually, it's probably messed up to call your kid peasant too. How about just nobody calls each other peasant and we call it good? This kid is next level savage, but like not in a good or charming way. Guys, imagine sitting in your room for 20 hours playing Call of Duty at 11 years old. And when you're hungry, just simply yelling out to your mom in the living room, "Peasant, come bring me food." I request backup immediately. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I can guarantee you my Xbox would be sold on eBay within 10 minutes, TV taken out of my room, and I would be stuck grounded in my room with nothing for at least a week, if not more. And I feel like my mom was pretty cool about stuff, like she would let stuff fly, but no, that is not okay. So, I mean, that is seriously so disrespectful that I can't even fathom how you could raise up a child to have them think that's okay and have them resent you and respect you so little. Obviously, this kid is a little jerk, but as I keep saying, his parents are at fault as well, as he is only going to be a product of the environment that they raised him in, which is the case for most kids that are acting up at home.
The two games that he really likes to play the most are Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite. He gets very excited about the number of kills because the more kills you have, the higher you go in the game.
All right, guys, wow. Well, I mean, we made it about halfway through this clip without them bringing in the same tired old rhetoric of violent video games are destroying our youth. First off, I mean, I will admit, Grand Theft Auto is pretty violent at times, but it's comical at the same way. Like, it's kind of hard to take that seriously. But Fortnite, I'm guessing she's talking about Fortnite in the kills counting towards a better win and score part that she was just talking about. So I'm really not sure how she can even see that as violent. Has she ever watched him play it? It is literally like one of the biggest games on the planet, and the fan base is comprised almost mainly of kids probably younger than him, most likely. When you shoot people, there's no blood, and when you die, this weird teleporter thing just zaps you out and back into the game lobby. I know this video is obviously entertaining to watch, but I'm just sick of this storyline being brought up in cases like this. Your child is acting like the spawn of Satan because of how you raised him by being his friend and not his parent, not these games that he's playing.
They rob, shoot, kill, beat.
Let's empty out this.
And everything they do is demeaning to women.
Jiggly, jiggly, I'm coming for the booty.
What did this little monster just say? Jiggly, jiggly, I'm coming for that booty. I'm done, dude. I know kids say dumb things, but that might top my list of the most ridiculous things that I've heard come from a child's mouth. I really cannot handle this kid. What a little punk.
He will turn over furniture, he breaks dishes, he has basically destroyed his room.
How would you like your death to be? Death by AIDS?
Alright, so I mean, some of this has to be pretty scripted now. I really don't think that anyone really talks like that in video games, even little kids. How do you want your death to be? Death by AIDS? You don't question that, you just do it. What kind of weird gamer talk is that? This kid should be screaming racial slurs or saying he did bad things to my mom, and that would be a little bit more realistic. I mean, that's what I've come to expect from little kids in my gaming experiences.
He has been bullied. I am scared that he will take the behaviors that he's learned in the game and retaliate. He could become another school shooter.
Okay, to the mom of this kid, or parents anywhere, if you actually have the words, he could become the next school shooter coming out of your mouth in regards to your child, take away their Xbox in that case. If she is actually thinking that's a possibility for her own child to do something like that, why would she continue to allow him to express this behavior and lock himself inside his room playing games? How about you turn off the Xbox and make him go to therapy, or let him find a new hobby that's maybe healthier for his anger issues, as gaming is probably just exacerbating that. Real quick guys, before we continue, make sure to subscribe and leave a like right now, as well as hit that bell to join our notification squad so you never miss a video when we upload. If you guys have subbed with notifications on, comment notifications on, and I'll reply to as many of you as I can saying thanks. Okay guys, now my man Dr. Phil is here to clean it all up, and he asks the golden question.
I feel like I know what's wrong with him. My question is, what's wrong with you?
This isn't really as much about the kid's behavior at this point, because he's acting like this for a reason. Like I said, he is a product of the environment that he is raised in. In fact, we should be looking at what's wrong with her parenting style that allowed him to get it this bad in the first place.
He locks you out of the house in the freezing rain and holds a sign up to the window, I will let you in if you go get me Starbucks. And you go get it.
Okay, I do gotta hand it to him. This kid is making some power moves. This is one of the most cruel things I've ever heard. But when the boy needs Starbucks, I guess he really needs Starbucks. Dr. Phil, once again, I gotta hand it to you. Sometimes with this show, it's really hit or miss. You have the episodes that are just so ridiculous that the lines of fact and fiction are kind of blurry, and it just seems like Dr. Phil is going into the interview to get clicks and gain more notoriety and doesn't really give them good advice. But here he actually sits down with the kid and once again articulates very well what's wrong in this parent-child dynamic. that he has going on with his mom and why it needs to stop. I know I kind of skimmed through the last part of the show, but unfortunately most of the time was spent talking to this lady that had all this information on the gaming side of things, saying it's all the game's fault, your child is evil and violent because of the games he plays, which could definitely be normalizing the behavior for him, but most of his issues stems from how his environment is day to day with his mom and the way he's being raised. She's not doing a good job of parenting her child, and that's ultimately what it comes down to, I think. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this, guys, or if this kid reminded you of anyone you know. I'm sure we'll get some funny anecdotes in the comments. Let me know if this struck a chord with you. But that's it for today's video. Once again, make sure to join the sub squad and hit that like button if you enjoyed. Peace out.